Hey, how we doing? Okay, so today I'm going to try and explain to you about setting up your block plane. Now this one might be a little bit different to the one that you have, but all the parts are pretty much the same. They'll all do exactly the same sort of thing, so we'll try and get through it. So at the minute my blade's retracted, it isn't set to depth, it's pretty sharp, so we'll work through it. So we have the press plate which holds the iron or the blade in the plane. So this press plate has a stud here which adds compression to the blade, which stops any movement. So for the very first thing you're going to need to do is unwind that a little bit. Mine's quite tight, so we undo it a little bit, just enough so it's got a bit of a pinch on it. And then you can see on the bottom here, this is what they call the mouth. So the mouth can be adjusted using the mouth adjuster, remarkably. So this also has a lateral movement adjuster, but you really shouldn't need that, or a fine movement adjuster. This adjusts the depth of your blade, and this lever is actually the lateral adjustment lever. So what happens as the blade starts to come out of the mouth, I'll show you this in a second, as the blade starts to come out it can be slightly twisted, so by using the lever it helps center it back parallel with the mouth. So we've got this set, and you just want to wind the blade. So when I set my blade, I'll get something flat. I'll normally just set it, so you keep twisting that till it starts to protrude. So you can just see the little edge of the bevel just starting to come out there. So twist it a little bit more. So I'll keep going. Now you see how much the mouth's closed up. Now if the mouth's too tight, you're obviously not going to get your timber in between there. So you very much want to use your eye. So you'll look down the plane, and I don't know if you can just see it. The blade is just starting to stick out on this side here. So we'll go a little bit more. And you just want to be able to brush your thumb over it and just gently feel the blade. So you look down it, and we are literally looking for like 1/4 of a millimetre or 1/2 a millimetre. Now what I do is I use the lateral adjustment lever. So at the minute I've just set that, and that's got kind of quite a nice depth. You can just see the blade just starting to protrude. Obviously my big ugly mug's in the way, so you can't get a proper shadow detail of it, but if I wind it out extra you'll be able to see. So now the blade's really sticking out, and if we use the lateral movement, so I've pushed that over, now you can see this, what's my right hand side of the blade sticking out way too much. So you use the lateral adjustment, and then that would just bring it parallel. Now this is a really old block plane, and I have to have it set right the other way just to get it nice and even. But there you go, you can see that that's now parallel. So we'll back the blade back out just to the depth. Now what I normally do, I'd normally wind my blade out, get to a point, and then wind it back a little bit, just so that you're not going to take off too much timber. So at the minute it's sticking out by probably 1.5, 2 millimeters or something like that, and that's ridiculous. That's way too much, and you won't get any shavings to go through this point here. So I'll just wind that right back again. Now once I get that to the position that I'm happy with, so I'm at, that's probably like 0.5 of a mil, so I'll go back another 1/4 of a turn, and there you go, that's just sticking out. Now depending on how rough you want to make it, or how much wood you're looking to take off, obviously you can change that. So now that's set, my depth is set, it's nice and parallel, my mouth is wide enough to get some shavings through it. Now it wouldn't matter if it was a little bit wider, but obviously it does matter if it's a lot closer. So then we use the turn. That will lock the blade back down again. Now they don't all necessarily have this screw, some of them have nubs, but all that is just a locator. So I'll just quickly do this. So we undo that again. I'll just try and angle that a bit more for me. So just undo that again. Now this is the press plate. So obviously that's got this, the larger hole and the smaller hole for the location on the screw. Now the blade's got these 3 grooves. Now what will happen as you do more and more carpentry, the blade will eventually wear down. So as it's wearing down, I may well have to move to one of these notches and then eventually to this notch, and then once I get past that notch on the adjustment, that's it, I can't do any more. I can't really cut a new notch into it. So let's say this plane is set at 25 degrees. Now the angle of this is 25. I can't remember what I wrote. Got a little tool here. 30 degrees. Oh, sorry. So my initial bevel was 30 degrees. And then the last little bit of the bevel is 25 degrees. No, sorry, the other way around. This bit's 25 degrees and then the last little bit is 30 degrees. So really you'll just want to keep cutting on that tiny little bit of the edge of the blade there. Right, so again, that goes in. Now in actual fact, so I've got this crazy little tool here. Now I am pretty good at sharpening all my chisels and my planes and everything like that, but if you're not, this thing is invaluable. So you clamp in your blade sticking out at 50 millimeters, and that will give you a cut of 25 degrees. Then you move it back to 40 and then that will give you a cut of 30 degrees. So this combined with the 25 with the 30, that should end up giving us, I think it was a 37 degree cut, or 12 degrees, whatever. Sorry, I'm getting a bit lost there. Cleverer than my own good. So regardless, we'll put this back in. Blade sitting back down onto its locating nub. So you've got the locating nub there. Now it goes in like that because this is the cutting edge and the shavings come up. It doesn't go up round this way, which it's quite easy to get this mistaken, and if you do it that way it's just going to jam into the wood. So we get that in, that's set on there, get my press plate, get it to sit back in there properly, do the stud up a little bit, come back and look at the blade. Now if you see the blade sticking out loads more again, I'll wind that back in. Just a little bit. Come back out a tiny little bit. Come on, 1/4 mil. Where are you? So that's about it there. Reasonably parallel. There we go. Just take it back a tiny mil or two. That'll do. Do my press plate up nice and tight. Ooh, and there you go. Voila! Hope that's helpful. Good luck. Cheers.